There was a time where compact hatches dominated many car markets worldwide. Are they making a comeback now, where almost all new cars are SUVs meanwhile? Kia says we also have a compact hatch for you. This is the all-new Kia K4. Is it a good successor of the Kia Ceed? And is it also a viable competitor to the VW Golf? It's available here as the compact hatch, but in some other markets like the US also as a sedan. And now recently announced there will also be a station wagon, an estate of the K4. All the infos you need to know today about the hatch focus. Yeah, and we also have some bird commentators here. I mean, everything of that with Thomas and Autofuel in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. And the K4 has a very modern front combustion engine. That's why we also have the opening right here. Then Interstellar Grey is this vehicle color here for today, and some might think of the movie, of course. Nice daytime running light signature here, very characteristic definitely. As an alternative, we would also have a sparkling yellow, which is somewhat the launch color of this vehicle. We had that in the initial studio episode. Here, back to the compact hatch. It's a length of 4 meters 44 or 175 inches. So really these compact dimensions, and the station wagon would continue then a little bit further, and the sedan with a typical sedan style then for the Northern American market. 16, 17, 18 inch. These here are the biggest wheels you see here. 17 would be included in the GT line, which we have here. 18 then even for that an option. And I think it's a very modern design. Here these rear door handles, they are attached to right there. That's kind of like somewhat hidden a little bit. And in the rear also a very modern tail lamp signature. This looks a little bit like the Kia SUVs, but especially then here in this dark gray color with the GT line. The GT line has the sporty accentuations throughout front, side and the rear, and also the badge, and will also have special interior features as well. It's a front wheel driven platform. Soon there will also be a hybrid engine coming up, an inbuilt, like a full inbuilt hybrid. This is then the last engine option so far. What is already available is a 1-liter 3-cylinder turbo. It's like the weakest, the entry-level engine. And then here we have the stronger one. This is a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder turbo. And this one here, let's put it up, with 150 or 180 horsepower. We have the one with 180 horsepower, and then 8.4 seconds is the acceleration figure, 0 to 1 kilometers an hour. The smaller engine would also have a mild hybrid option. That one here does not have one. Also reduced a little bit the trunk capacity. We'll soon talk about that. Here, by the way, also nice dampening underneath. So looks kind of promising so far. Are you a fan of like the classic hatch cars? Tell me in the comments. And of course, we're going to check out the interior, and I can tell you a lot has been. There we go. This is Autogefühl live on tape. So they have done a lot on the interior. You might think, wait a minute, what is the predecessor of this vehicle? It's the Kia Ceed in Europe, and in the US maybe the Kia Forte. And these are massive changes coming up here. It's a nice door closing sound. Also for the rear, sounds very rich and solid actually. Also classic door handles, like to see that they just go for very classic door handles, and why not? You know, they do the job, everyone knows them, everyone likes them, so I think we should also keep that. And before I talk about the inside of the doors, here, it's a nice material here for the key fob, like a matte black material, so that's cool. On the side then the controls. Then here in the front part, this is also soft touch at the inside, and a little bit softer for the elbow here, and classic controls for the window levers, and also classic controls, I like that, for the side mirrors. Door part and hardback, some space, but that's it. And my favorite unit is right here. I just love that. Seat heating, seat cooling, heated steering wheel, memory seating, and so easily accessible with a real knob. Take this Golf. Yeah, maybe like they do like another update or something, then they take something from that. And then we have the two-tone scheme for the GT line. This is also the sports steering wheel, which has a little bit different form, and Leah is focusing that, yeah, very rightfully, because these are real buttons and scroll wheels on the steering wheel. pretty nice. And GT line also comes with the perforated high-grade leatherette in two-tone scheme. GT line and embossed in the top part, and then this perforation also allows the seat cooling. This is of course the best setup. However, I also like fabric seats. If you want to save some money and go with lower trim levels, then you have fabric entry seats. There's also, even in a GT line, the mix of fabric and leatherette, because usually with a lot of other Kia models, this is the GT line seat, period. But here with the K4, they have like one step more, that these seats are also only an option for the GT line. You have to pick the seat package for that. Just, that you know that. Headroom here in the front, 189, 6 for 2, no problem. Steering wheel, manual, up and down, in and out. And I can already say, these seats are very comfortable. And in compact hatches, it might be a problem for some, especially if you're tall, that you don't find a good seating position. But here, you sit actually pretty well. Oh, and here, you have also these proper aluminum pedals, or aluminium, because sometimes I get from non-US viewers, some complain when I say, Thomas, you cannot say aluminum. It has to be aluminium. Yeah. So I rather say both.
That's my favorite voice from Thomas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So funny,
I tend to do that at home. The frog voice, I tend to do that. The Kermit voice, I tend to do that at home as well. Yeah. To the likes of Leah. Yeah. Now to my favorite part of this vehicle and this video, it's the front cockpit, the interior here, which looks pretty cool, and it's also a massive upgrade if we compare the so far Kia Ceed. And yeah, as I said, the VW Golf can the VW Golf can also take some notes right here. The one thing was of course the seats, because they're good in the ergonomics and they also look pretty cool, especially here in the highest trim. Gotta talk about the prices very soon though as well. And we have some nice ambient lighting integration right here. You can set it to a personal color, but also according to the driving modes. Then it is covered here, this top dash. It's still quite hard though, but the material surface still feels and looks nice. We have a head-up display box here, and then we have two screens, left, right, but also additional one in the middle, because here you can also use the screen directly, but it doesn't make much sense, because as a driver you cannot see through the steering wheel there. It's more for the passenger maybe, because we still have a manual climate unit. And then me as a driver, I change the fan speed here and then the temperature right there, and I can look straight and just control it like this, up and down, even without having to look at it. So that's a cool thing. Also a manual scroll wheel for the volume, also for the passengers. You know, the typical use case is I'm listening to loud music and it's too loud for Leah, so she turns it a little bit down. But she's the only one where I'm not mad at when she turns down the music. Sometimes she also likes to listen to loud music, but more like in a festival surrounding and stuff. Yeah. And then a glove box here. This was full of stuff now, therefore it goes down really fast. But you see, it does house some stuff. These sides here are all hardpack, but even when they are hardpack, the quality is still quite nice for that. Then here you can switch between connecting and only charging. Here left, right side only charging, USB-C chargers. Inductive charging pad is not ventilated though, so I would prefer the cable charging. Then this here, the automatic shifting for the dual clutch transmission. Really thick old school stuff. I think it's actually pretty cool. It feels nice, looks and feels sporty. And there's one minor detail here now, gotta mention that. The whole car here has really good quality and materials, and this is always animal free, this car, except this here. This is animal leather, at least in parts. Doesn't make much sense. I think that's just like, yeah, heritage reasons or something like that, that they had these parts still or something like that. Yeah, doesn't make too much sense. Here, push, push. Whew. This is like these mini guillotines where you should not have your fingers right here, because that might hurt then. And then double adaptive. This is, I think in the Sportage we had it where I just had like one of these, but two are definitely better to hold different bottles tight. Then here a little bit soft for your elbow. Yeah, it should be softer though. You can put a lot of clutter in here. This is like really that deep, but we had put all the filming clutter in here. And let's see, this also doesn't fall down quickly, only then here. So that's actually fine. So I'm really happy with the interior quality. Large steering wheel also. Then here the shifting pedals. You can really shift the gears with that if you like that. And scrolling for volume here, right side, left side to change something in the digital instruments. You can really feel at home here, and it's a non-BS car. That means whatever you're searching, you find it. Oh, I want seat heating. There we go. I want seat cooling. There we go. I want heated steering wheel. There we go. Warmer. There we go. Colder. There we go. Oh, I want to adjust the height of the head-up display. Setup. Head-up display. Head-up display. Adjusting. Height. Higher. So everything is kind of intuitive. And the driver POV, once again here with these scroll wheels, buttons and so on, left side for the cruise control as well. And oh yeah, the drive mode selector here. This is how you change driving modes, and then it also reacts accordingly in the instruments. This, by the way, here, this infrared light, you see it on the camera, but you do not see it with your own eyes. This is for checking if the driver is still awake or undead. So, and then here, this is then the head-up display. Is always appearing smaller than it actually is, and the main infotainment unit. These are some different home menus you can choose, and the cool thing is I can set, for example, the favorite button that it always hops to the Apple CarPlay. That's cool. Set up then to switch something in the car around. The home button is also accessible here. The car internal GPS is maybe it's a little bit laggy and old school, so rather use your smartphone protection for that. That's, I think, the is just easier and more up to date always. Oh, and the like the sound system here, Harman Kardon sound system. We listen to that. We cannot show you all the music tracks because copyright and so on. But I can tell you it's really great sound. Now to the rear. First of all, the rear door. This is all hard pack. Then here's a little bit soft for the elbow, and you can even get here in the GT line optional with the seat package. Heated seats for the rear. That's actually quite nice, and a lot of space here for rear, in the rear for some bottles and so on. Then GT line also then with the perforated leatherette here in the rear. That's cool. Also feels nice. Isofix on the outsides each. Then we can pull down this with cup holders. These are not adaptive, but still good in quality. It's also a ski hatch you can pull out then here if you want to load things through. In the lower part, 2 USB-C chargers, also easily accessible. And when I'm driving as a tall adult, this is actually quite good. I mean, it's a compact hatch. It's not too long, and I still have decent legroom. That's actually quite nice. So in a lot of compact vehicles, I have less legroom, definitely. So that's a good result. And here, these are like these integrated hangers for jackets also, but you can also use them like to maybe like helps you for getting in and out maybe or something. Then headroom 189, 6 for 2. A lot of headroom left, no problem as for that. And it's also decently comfortable. Yes, the angle of my knees, compact hatch I like, but because the seat material is also really nice, is actually a very good result here for a compact hatch.
And can you please show your socks now?
Oh yeah.
The best Christmas gift.
I got the Star Wars socks from Liam, of course, yeah. But I have to say, these are exclusive, only episode 1 to 6 socks. They are not socks for episode 7 to 9. Very important to note that. The classic hatch only needs a classic hatch here, and there's no electric function needed. You also have a nice handle here that you can grab it from the inside and easily also close it when it's, for example, raining outside. Camera is integrated right here. It's not hidden though, so might get dirty a little bit. And here you can see this new Kia logo. And then, let's check it out, 440 liters. Would be a little bit reduced when you have the mild hybrid though. This one fits in vertically, no problem, 1.40 meters in width. The standard length here is 85 centimeters, 33 inches. Underneath, some more space, like this. Looks like that it could also fit a replacement tire depending on the country version. You can also remove this one here completely. That would also work. Yeah, that's and here you have like an even transition, because then the total length to the front seats is 1.70 meters or 66 inches. Then we have this top cover here. There we go. Just pull it actually. That's a little bit easier. And then you can see you can also reach over and fold the seats. I went around this time, but you could also, when this is removed, reach over, and then there's no like a button or something, but this like this, you know, this lever is easier, you know, than some have like this button which you cannot press it easily. So this is then the maximum setup. Last but not least, the height. We are here at almost 70 centimeters or 27 inches. So I think well usable for being it only a hatch. You could also see here, due to the exterior form, the cutout here is also actually quite handy. Sport mode. Pop. This was 30 to 60 at first acceleration with driving the Kia K4. And this here was a message that the speed limit now changed. And this is essentially a Golf competitor, as we said earlier, and the Kia Ceed successor, basically. Yeah, sometimes the warning messages are a little bit prominent, definitely. What you can do, however, here, press and hold the mute button, and then the acoustic speed warning chime is actually deactivated. Also, because sometimes, even if you stick to the speed limit and just have like 101 at 100, which is according to GPS still below 100, and it, you know, starts beeping with this EU law, and this you can eradicate with that. So we're driving here the 180 horsepower version, 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. 8.4 seconds is the acceleration figure, and we start with some motorway driving here around the Barcelona area in Spain. And sport mode here, you have a little bit crisper throttle input, so to speak. Let's see if it changes anything from the steering. When we go back here to the normal mode, yeah, steering is a little bit lighter than in this case. Normal mode, you would rather pick for normal driving to relax and so on. The steering wheel has good grip, good handle, high-grade leatherette, feels nice, and it's actually rather large, I would say, for this compact vehicle here. This is then another, you're not paying too much attention to like looking straight, because I was looking to the side, obviously. Sometimes you have to do that, actually. So here now, a motorway, going then towards 120. Here, by the way, it's nice to see the blind spot monitor. You have it in the side mirrors, but also when you change the lane, you have this Hyundai Kia Genesis function. They have it for a lot of vehicles, that you have another camera view then to where you are actually turning to. And we do have the largest wheels here, the 18-inch wheels, optional even for the GT line. GT line would come with 17 as standard. So far, it's actually good from the comfort. Suspension here seems to be a good compromise between sportiness and comfort. It is not soft, but it's also not too harsh. So not exactly like Golf GTI or something, but already that you have some contact to the road. Let's take it that way. Noise insulation here at 100 kilometers an hour so far is actually fine, not too loud. The tarmac here around the Barcelona area is also rather a rough tarmac, gotta say that. One more lane change here. Car is really stable. Good steering feel also, so there's a fine, sensitive input, not too much, but also no dead zone area here, so to speak. And then the seats, talked about that earlier, here with the top high-grade leatherette, which also has the ventilation function and also the seat heating, of course. And you can pick different seat materials, but it's actually a good comfort. So they really stepped up the game, the whole Kia brand, as for the seating comfort and the materials and so on. So good job, especially in the most recent years for that. So from the first driving impression, I can really say this is like really another level, like the Kia Ceed. So it's like, stepping up the game, and this can very well be a Golf competitor. It feels really solid. Also, just experienced here, like there's like this dip in the road. The car remained very calm and stable as for that. So it feels really nice. Your first impression?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
I'm
happy.
Yeah. Feeling happy as a passenger, Princess. So the good thing, of course, here we had a lot of EVs, because at this moment manufacturers are pushing EVs. All the new releases are like, a lot of them are EVs at this moment. So it's also good because no one is going all EV in yet as for the infrastructure and so on. So not everyone can go to EV now. So it's always good to present like a wide scale of drivetrains also for those who want to buy the combustion engines. And the good thing about this one here is that it feels really light because it's a compact hatch. Good dimensions, it's not too large, not too small, you can still do a lot of things with it, and it is still comfortable. That's to me one of the most important things, because when you drive a lot of the new SUVs, and also the SUV trend is getting more and more, even more SUVs here and there, and then you understand when you go out of an SUV into compact hatch or normal sedan, and say like, yeah, okay, I can understand because the SUVs are more comfortable with the seating position and so on. But this one here, since the seats are really nice, it's a good and comfortable seating position, and since you have a lot of luxury features like even the seat cooling, you can really lift this to another level then. That's good. Good brake feeling also that you can finely tune it. Let's also check out here the adaptive cruise control. So we have it here. See also then with the active lane keeping assist, if it's nervous or if it's rather calm. I mean, some minor corrections, but actually not too bad. Let's see what it does then when of course this one would be done better with humans, so I would maybe like react a little bit earlier to leave this guy in here. But this was also smooth transitions, so the brakes weren't like really hammered in. And now let's see, car gets more distance, should pick up the speed then again from 70 to 80. You can also rule the distance, by the way. If I say like, hey, I want like a little bit less distance, maybe you can also do that. Now also just with capacitive control of the assistance systems. So I just have to, hold on tight here, then the car still knows I'm here. Before in older systems, you always had like really pull at the steering wheel that it still knows you're there. So that is also then upgraded. There we go. There's also in the blind spot monitor, once again, if there's someone approaching, you have an additional acoustic warning as for that. So it has a very round and settled feeling. And that is something indeed where the Golf has been famous for, that you just start driving and everything just feels right, and you don't have to complain about this and this and this. Yeah, but with the all-new Golf generation, you will maybe remember our reviews from the initial launch of the new Golf generation. Had so many problems with that generation, and then step by step, they even out the software bugs, put some new stuff in there, facelifted it and so on, and yeah, meanwhile they're then on the level again. But this one here in this compact hatch segment, as for the first driving impressions, it's really on the game now. And of course, we want to know more about this when we drive it in a more agile way. Now some agile driving up the hill. That's going to be a lot of fun. We can also talk about the DCT dual clutch transmission we have in here. I mean, that huge shifting lever was pretty cool, definitely. It is really drawn back in a way of you don't feel much of the shifting, and that's of course for dual clutch transmission is a good thing, definitely. But that's more like when you drive motorway and city and so on, just does the job. You don't feel, you don't hear much from it. It's actually very smooth transitions from the gears. But how is it when we give it a little bit more push and, for example, also go for the sports mode? Here in the sport mode, it also shifts down a little bit earlier, for example. Here, once again, nice from the steering feeling. It's, by the way, a nice look out here on the city of Barcelona. There you can see Sagrada Familia on the right side. They're still building it. I think for, I don't know, 400 years or something. So there we go. But with the, in Cologne in Germany it was the same basically. So, and then here, once again, nice control from the steering, and you feel that the car is compact and light. It's actually a lot of fun to drive it. Good control from the brakes as well, nice braking feeling. And even here, the dual clutch transmission is, sometimes these DCTs, in German we would say like, verschluckt, like when you like this, that there's something like or stutter a little bit, but that doesn't happen here so far. So it's actually a good behavior of that one, that you can very well control it. So it is a very solid and comfortable compact hatch, but you can also have fun with it, and it doesn't need to be like an additional extra sporty version. I mean, Kia K4 GT, like a true GT, why not, you know, at some point maybe. Like Hyundai offers with their N, the true N models. Is of course not the main focus here, but good work, definitely. So here also the larger wheels, of course, give us like a little bit more contact. That feels really nice, and so far I haven't felt that there would be really uncomfortable or something. Leah still feeling all right, although,
yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Oh, that's a good sign, because like these serpentine roads, they're really tough on the passengers or co-drivers, as I call them usually. And that's a really good sign that she still feels all right. And the consumption, we did some, you know, like back and forth so that there's not too much topographic difference, and also like not too much difference overall. Pick this route with city traffic, inner city motorway, not too high speeds, but also some stop and go back and forth, which is of course not the coolest thing for a combustion engine. So here realistic consumption just close to 8 liters on 1 kilometer, 7.6, something like that. Is close to the WLTP range, maybe a little bit worse. I think that would be a realistic case then. This is here 29 mpg US, 35 mpg UK. So it's not the most efficient car here. The inbuilt hybrid that will come later, that one would score better results than hopefully. Well, that was a quite convincing ride here from the Kia K4, so a worthy successor to the Kia Ceed for sure, and definitely also now a hot competitor to the VW Golf and other compact hatches, or then the compact sedans on the US market, and soon also the compact wagons, the estates, when it comes as the K4 Sportswagen. Pricing starts with the hatch in the EU at about 30,000 euros, taking the German prices. Then you go 38,000 euros if you go for the top engine with the GT line. And if you add some more extras like the seat package and so on, then as it stands right now, the most expensive you can get is 42,700 euros. It's of course not cheap for a compact hatch. However, if we compare nowadays car prices and what you see, what you get for that, then, you know, like with cool seats and so on, and the quality and also the ride quality, it's still, I think, a decent offer overall. Or what do you think? Tell me your opinion in the comments. And now it's time to check out the competition.